Hi, welcome to another Cold Fusion video. Right now, we're at the start of an AI revolution. You might hear people talking about AI threatening to take over jobs, or doing stranger things like playing games like the board game Go or StarCraft 2. But most people think that the arts and creative fields are outside AI's capabilities, but this is up for debate. A method called style transfer, which usually entails taking the artistic style of a famous painter and transferring it onto a still image or even video, has been achieved. In the instances of still images, the AI managed to fool 39% of art historians. But what about creative AI doing something actually useful that could potentially save millions of dollars and improve an entire industry by leaps and bounds? Well, this is happening. AI's creativeness is now moving into the 3D visual arts, potentially revolutionizing video game production and graphics. In this video, we'll take a look at that and some other ways that the AI revolution is seeping into gaming.
You are watching Cold Fusion TV.
Okay.
Since Crysis in 2007, we haven't really seen a major step forward in the visual quality of games.
Who had the PC that could run this, chat? Who had this?
Yes, they do look marginally better, but it hasn't been an incredible leap forward. This is about to change with something called real-time ray tracing. Ray tracing, without going into detail, simulates the way light reflects and interacts with surfaces in the real world. It does this by calculating the path that each ray of light would take in a scene. Ray tracing gives that element of realism that's missing from today's games. Current games fake the effect of light's behavior. Ray tracing simulates it. It's why Pixar movies look so different to a playable video game. So this sounds good, but the problem with ray tracing is that it's very computationally expensive. Traditionally, you'd need a big farm of graphics processors to produce results. It's definitely something suited to pre-rendered CGI movies and not real-time video games. This all changed with Nvidia's RTX graphics card. With this, real-time ray tracing is now possible. This was achieved by specialized hardware tailored for AI doing all of the heavy lifting. The hardware is called NGX, and it uses processors that are custom built for matrix multiplication, the mathematical heart and soul of modern AI. With this, the hardware-enabled AI learns how light should bounce and simulates this. It puts the paths of light where it thinks it should go. The result is a realistic, real-time image that for the first time comes down to the
Have you ever thought about doing porn? Hell yeah, dude. I would fucking destroy the market, dude. Fuck yeah.
consumer level.
I don't have a huge dick though, but it'd be like a fat gamer fucks this chick. It'd be cool.
2019, ray tracing was integrated into Unreal Engine, and now the technology can be used in very general cases. To highlight just how much of a difference ray tracing makes, here's a video by Digital Foundry showing Minecraft modded with ray tracing.
Can we play this?
Minecraft is probably one of the worst looking games graphics wise, but with ray tracing, it actually looks pretty realistic.
Wow.
It doesn't end there though. Here's some real-time ray tracing scenes of a BMW juxtaposed with a shot of a real BMW. And rounding up, here are some other general examples of ray tracing.
Wow. That looks fucking real. Or better than real.
In the future, this kind of video game quality will become standard. AI is also being used to create more realistic smoke and fluid simulations without the heavy processing that goes with it. Not only this, but a research team at the University of Edinburgh developed a machine learning system that is trained by watching motion capture clips showing various kinds of movement. The system correspondingly then generates an animation. This can be anything from a jog to a run to hopping over an object.
To train our system, we first capture several long sequences of raw locomotion data at a variety of speeds, facing directions and turning angles. We also capture motion of stepping, climbing and running over obstacles placed in the capture studio. By giving as input the height of the terrain under the trajectory, our character can adapt to rough terrain, climbing, balancing and jumping where required. Either using the gamepad or the environment, we can get the character to crouch or move under obstacles. It can additionally be forced into certain environments such that the desired motion is performed, as shown.
I feel like the more realistic the movement is, it's just the boring the controls are. Like, I hate when it takes forever to turn around, or like, I like instant movement. It's satisfying to me. It's video game-ish. But it's like, when it's like, oh, you're gonna get, oh, fuck. Dude, you can't turn around and go this way so many times, dude. Wait. It's like your character's like pissed off. Like your character's like, dude, you're moving your controller too much, man. It's like, oh, I have to like wait for you. Like, it's annoying.
Walking over this beam.
Like the GTA, it does it in GTA. Like I feel it in GTA. Like if you turn around, your character like
character control using a face function neural network,
like,
which can produce high quality motion for complex control tasks such as walking over rough terrain. It's fast, compact, stable, and can learn from a large amount of data.
I get it though. It's cool, but still.
This takes the tedious work out of creating realistic movements for video game characters.
Oh.
In a free market, whatever is cheaper, faster,
yeah, for a story game, for
will
sure,
eventually become the standard. The same applies to the gaming industry.
But I feel like Dota does this.
It's no secret that the cost of video games is going up. But why is this? Once upon a time, major games could be made with a small number of people. This is because the assets or 3D components of the game were simple. As time went on, games strove to chase realism. As this happened, the components of the game became ever more complex. It's gotten to the point where it now takes a large team and the budget of a blockbuster movie to complete a major video game title. Andrew Price, a video game artist, conducted a talk at a Blender conference in 2018. In the talk, he produced a realistic estimate of how exactly things get so expensive. So one detailed 3D building can take 22 hours to create, 12 hours for the modeling stage, and another 10 hours for the texturing process. But the job is far from complete at this stage. There's usually a revision of 2 to 4 times depending on what's needed within the game's story. The end process can be 44 to 88 hours of work just for a single building within a game. At a wage of $60 per hour, the average cost of one building is around $4,000. When you add up all the costs, it becomes comical. This single scene cost around $200,000. A full game would have no problem reaching the hundreds of millions of dollars mark working this way. The expense is largely due to the process of designing the elements in the game. Currently, video game artists use a static flow. From the design of the element to the output, that is, the completed product, is a 1-to-1 ratio. To create a new 3D asset, be it a car or building, requires the designer to start almost completely from scratch. This is where AI comes in. AI, particularly neural networks, are suited to a kind of workflow called procedural content generation. This is basically where a neural network is trained to create realistic buildings, cars, or audio from vast volumes of data. Over time, it learns what looks good and what's realistic. With procedural content generation, a game designer simply has to type in certain parameters, such as a building should be of a certain type, have X amount of windows, and be of a height within a certain range. Once given these parameters, the AI then generates a whole bunch of options, and the designer simply has to pick one with little or no modification.
That's cool.
And this is where the advantage comes in. If another 3D asset is needed, instead of starting from scratch, the designer simply puts in the parameters and the AI generates it again. Countless hours are saved.
Did I get tricked to watching a Smite video?
Even though to train the AI in the first place might take a while. The same process can be done for natural landscapes or even video game characters themselves. To top things off, what if an AI could create a whole video game by itself? Well, of course, this has already been done. Just recently, researchers at Georgia Tech took things a step forward by using a general adversarial network, a type of neural network which we've covered extensively before on this channel. This network was deployed to invent new games. In their paper, they used video game levels from already developed games as inputs, and then converted them into an output that lays out environments, objects, and rules for the new game. This particular system learnt from 2 games, Super Mario Bros. And Kirby's Adventure, and the output turned out to be a game similar to Mega Man.
What?
So I think this video shines a light
Can we see
on a
the
side
game?
of AI that isn't really talked about.
Can we see the game? Where is it?
AI being not only creative, but actually practically useful. Combining all of the
so
elements
bad,
that you've
probably.
seen here, it's clear to see that AI is going to have a drastic effect on the future of video games. They'll look better, be more realistic, and be much cheaper to produce. So which area are you most excited for? The possibility of the prices of games coming down, the games looking better, or the games being more realistic? Let me know what you think in the comment section below.
I want the
So that
games.
rounds out the end of the video. My goal with all of this content on this channel is to bring something a little different to YouTube, a new take on presenting information. If you want to support this vision, feel free to subscribe to this channel and share this video to someone who will be interested in the topic. That really helps me out.
Yes. Is this
I
scary?
used to live here.
Won't you come in? It's the least I can do. Is it like you remember?
Cleaner.
Well, you feel free to look around while I get the water boiling.
Your hair is winter.
I never watched the It movies.
My heart burns there too.
There you go.
What?
Now some music. I do apologize. It gets so very hot here this time of year.
She just danced.
Well, you feel like you could just about die. But you know what they say about Derry? No one who dies here ever really dies.
What? I don't like this.
But tell me,
Okay,
how is
good.
it
Okay.
being back in Derry?
It's good. Strange.
Strange? Oh my.
Oh, what? There's no titties in this, right?
I had some cookies in the oven before you came. Stay right there.
I shouldn't impose. I'm gonna.
No, I insist.
Your photos are lovely, Miss Kirsch. Are these your family?
My father came to this country with $14 in his
I'm
pocket.
scared.
What did he do, Mrs. Kirsch?
My father joined the circus. I was always Daddy's little girl. What about you? Are you still his little girl, Beverly? Are you?
This meeting of the Losers Club has officially begun.
Well, she didn't die.
We have to stick together.
Hello.
Are these?
The fuck was that? Sora just played a porn game? Cool. Oh, man. Thanks, guys. That was fat. You saw this. Next. Yo. The sound from Case 19, you think so?
If you're a fucking fair dinkum fucking full grown Aussie, this is what you'd have for breakfast, you fucking dog cunts. A fucking
Fucking
baby.
long neck.
At 20 to 8 in the fucking
Morning.
Get that up.
This guy keeps saying I seen you at 3:30, but what video is this guy talking? Okay, this guy really wants me to watch this. What is this?
Well, I don't know. It's kind of like not really good, but like fine, I guess. You know, like normal.
He says this is me.
What you want? I suffer from like
Okay, fuck you. All right.
mental illness and stuff like that.
Same.
I told my dad how I was feeling, and then like he just said, "Let's go for a walk," and I'm like,
Why did you watch this whole video?
says that. So there's a lot.
Hey, how are you? Huh? Are you okay? Call me Rogo. You got me to watch your video, okay? What does he have to say? Did he even respond? God damn it. Go to IRL section on Twitch. Oh god, is there porn? Don't go there.
If you frequent the internet, you have likely seen memes and videos with a character known as Doomer and or any of his counter characters, Boomer, Bloomer, and Zoomer. If you have not, these are them. Each of these characters represents a distinct personality type, usually associated with a specific generation within current society. The Doomer character is especially popular and is what we will be focusing on here. The Doomer is an individual who is typically in their 20s and male, although a Doomer in the philosophical sense does not need to be either. He or she does, however, need to be someone who feels a sense of aimlessness and loneliness, and is consequently stricken with a deep despair for life. For the Doomer, life is meaningless, and the world is inevitably doomed by humanity's ignorance, greed, and futility. As a result, the Doomer sees little to no reason in engaging in traditional pursuits, and thus retreats from society into apathetic isolation. This character is often used in videos and memes to illustrate various experiences that come with this pessimistic sense of life. Things like working a dead-end job, struggling to maintain or get over romantic relationships, excessive drinking and smoking, feeling alienated from one's friends and family, etc. This character's popularity and widespread relatability is very telling about the conditions of the modern person, specifically that of the current young adult generation. It reveals the depth of pessimism and nihilism being experienced, a hopelessness for both the now and for the future. One of the Doomer's counter characters is the Boomer, the name being derived from the term baby boomer, an individual born between 1946 and 1964, 2 generations or so before the Doomer. However, the age and generation of a Boomer does not necessarily matter. What does matter is this character's contrasting outlook on life. Opposed to the Boomer possesses a positive, can-do attitude. More specifically, in the context of the meme, the Boomer's attitude exists in a naive, blissful ignorance of truth. The Boomer chugs along in their ignorant delusion, unaware of the reality in which they live, mistakenly thinking they have it all under control. Where the Doomer is aware of the world's conditions and consequently pessimistic about them, the Boomer is unaware and thus ignorant and blissful.
Know.
Unlike the baby boomers, the Doomer was born in or around the 90s and grew up through an era when technology developed at an unprecedented rate in an exceptionally small amount of time. The advent of the internet as well as affordable internet devices would completely change the way people could experience and understand the world. During this internet generation, children and young adults had access to a completely open and constant flow of information, an ability to see, hear, talk with, and engage in the entire world in real time, all the time. The world would shrink down to fit in the palm of one's hand, allowing one to easily see just how absurd, chaotic, and meaningless it truly is. As a result, a huge portion of an entire generation would realize early on that things weren't all good, that the can-do, positive attitude of the Boomer was outdated and ignorant of what was really going on. With lingering counterculture narratives from the 60s and 70s, a decreasing popularity in Christianity following the Second World War, and an increase in access to information, this generation would be left with no traditional meaning or hope to fall back on.
If you're still a Christian, you didn't get the latest patch. You're outdated. Update your iPhone. What are you doing?
A generation where many find a piece of themselves in the doomer. So now what? Are we doomed to exist in a world where the options are either blissful ignorance or informed melancholy?
I'm kidding. If you're religious, that's on you. Alright. I need the view count.
In order to better understand and deal with growing pessimistic and nihilistic tendencies, it is helpful to refer to the work of 19th century philosophers Arthur Schopenhauer and Friedrich Nietzsche. Arthur Schopenhauer is often regarded as the philosopher of pessimism, arguably the original doomer. Like the doomer's outlook, for Schopenhauer, life is in fact riddled with unavoidable pain, meaninglessness, and absurdity. For Schopenhauer, we are prisoners to our unconscious instinct to survive, reproduce, and sustain existence. And in a traditional sense, everything we do in life is merely a product of this irrational force, void of any purpose other than to continue to sustain itself. As a result, we live a life of delusion, constantly in a frenzy, trying to impress sexual partners in order to reproduce, and trying to accomplish things in order to find happiness. Schopenhauer writes, "There's only one inborn error."
You're trying to get me banned? Why? Weird champ, this guy. Turtle Cat Liddell. What are you doing?
And that is the notion that we exist in order to be happy. So long as we persist in this inborn error, the world seems to us full of contradictions. For at every step in things great and small, we are bound to experience that the world and life are certainly not arranged for the purpose of maintaining a happy existence.
I love you
In
guys.
Schopenhauer's mind, we want so badly to believe that we exist to be happy and to have specific purpose, but with an honest examination, we realize we do not. This perspective does not fall far from that of the doomer. Arguably, neither the doomer nor Schopenhauer are necessarily wrong in their assessments of life.
Like, I feel like everyone's past that. Like, a few years ago, everyone come to the realization, like, oh, there's no future. There's no happy ending. We gotta do what we got. We got what we have right now. We gotta, like, make do, right? It's like something like we've all realized past few years. I feel like most media like 10 years ago was trying to sell this idea of, hey, be happy, good things gonna happen to you, you're gonna have everything in the end, it's all gonna be good, and just don't worry. Shh. You know what I mean? It felt like that vibe. But now I feel like you don't have to feel bad. Like, you play games like The Sims and stuff, so like realize you're in an open world.
Yeah, guys, look. Yeah, look, guys, look. Hey, disconnected.
You can do whatever you want. Unless you got unlucky with bad RNG. You have a bad starter zone. If you got a bad starter zone, you're unlucky. But you gotta, like, grind it out. Like, some people have this. Some people have the starter zone that's like PvP unlocked already. There's no safe place. You know what I mean? Feels bad. There's some starter zones that have like no quest NPCs, so no one knows what to do. It's bugged out. So much bugs. I got a good spawn. I got a good starter zone. Feels good. There's quest markers. There's mounts. Water, food. It was great. There's a tutorial.
Life is in fact linked with chaos, pain, and fundamental meaninglessness. The real problem, however, is not found in this realization, but how this realization is handled. Schopenhauer offered two solutions for the realization of life's meaningless suffering: asceticism and art. Asceticism is the disciplined avoidance of pleasure, an overcoming of the unconscious desire and pursuit for the selfish and material, be it things like sex, vanity, money, social status, etc. Schopenhauer felt that by obtaining control over the ceaseless yearning for things, one can find a form of happiness in the present moment.
I feel like monks... Like, why? Like, why can't they just, like, do other stuff? Like, why just sit there? Isn't that boring as fuck? Like, why you just sit there and just do nothing, man? Like, I understand. I seen that Joe Rogan episode with the guy going and becoming a monk for a while. But it's like a big tolerance break for, like, I don't know. Like, what the fuck? Like, I get it. You know, I was legit a monk for a while. It just seems. Is the reward worth it? You know?
Moment. However, Schopenhauer also acknowledged the sheer difficulty in accomplishing this feat, for it is not enough to merely realize the senselessness of
Like
one's
pros
behaviors
and cons,
in
you
order
know?
to stop them from occurring. The level of discipline and commitment required would prove immensely difficult for even the wisest of individuals. Alternatively, Schopenhauer provided one other solution, engaging in the aesthetics of art and philosophy as much as possible. In this, Schopenhauer suggested that things like poetry, theater, music, paintings, literature, theory, etc. have the power to reveal and share truth. A truth that liberates the individual during the moments he or she is engaging in it.
Someone in my chat said, "Why am I watching this?" I agree. I feel like I just felt like forced to watch it because it says it's about doomers and stuff. Like, I don't know. I feel like this is like just too depressing. Chat, don't take that too serious, man. What is going on? I feel like if I was a kid, I'd like that video.
My mother always tells me to smile and put on a happy face. She told me I had a purpose to bring laughter and joy to the world.
What the fuck did you do? My life sucks.
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
Smile, though your heart is aching. Smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by.
What?
If you smile, your fear and sorrow smile.
What the fuck is happening?
Don't make me angry!
Hello.
Freak!
Is that Moxie?
Twitch has lost its way. What kind of coward would do something that retarded? Someone who hides behind a mask.
Seven is too old.
I used to think that my life was a tragedy.
What the fuck am I?
But now I realize...
Motherfucker!
It's a comedy.
I was there.
If you just smile.
Yeah, I know. I know. What the fuck was this though? Like, what is this guy?
But now I realize...
Oh, fine.
Motherfucker!
This is really good edit though. What the fuck? Man. 1 second roll, by the way. 1 second roll, by the way. What do you mean? Oh. I don't give a fuck. Dude, you wouldn't even like... Yeah, fuck you. Was this good? this Star Wars? Who the fuck is this? I'm 5 in queue, guys. Are you kidding me? Look at me. I was sitting here thinking, yeah, fine, I'll log in right now. Boom. What's up, guys? I'm in. What the fuck is this? They took my priority.
I am a ghost.
I like the song.
An elite soldier.
Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings.
Trained to strike my enemies before they know I exist. Death stalks me. But I survive. Overcoming any obstacle. Never surrendering.
Who the fuck is this? Do these characters exist before this at all? Is there a storyline before this I have no idea about?
And with my brothers and sisters at my side, there is no fight we fear.
It's like an army version of Destiny.
We are ghosts. We aren't afraid of death. So when you take the life of my brothers, when you provoke me, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, I will burn your world to the ground.
White guy, Asian guy, black guy, and a white girl. Check mark, check mark, check mark, check mark.
To the ground. I'm a ghost too.
Oh, no way!
I would expect nothing less.
Cool!
Cheaters never prosper, or do they? No, not in this list anyway. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on Game Ranks, 10 times gamers got banned for the right reasons. Number 10, a guy playing Apex Legends, streaming, might I add, a cheat stream. If you're unaware of what those are, it's when you stream with cheats and part of the allure is seeing the streamer cheat. Being it's a multiplayer game, cheating isn't actually a cool thing to do. It's certainly fun to cheat in a single player game. Certainly fun to use mods in a single player game, to modify your experience so that it's what you want it to be. That's cool. Not in a multiplayer game, not in Apex Legends, the unexpected hit, the battle royale game that randomly is awesome and free for anyone to play. No, not cool for you to cheat, sir, and not cool for you to stream it. So in the Apex Legends subreddit, which, by the way, has devs actively watching in,
what is going on?
A user posted this guy's streams and says this guy's cheating and streaming it, and it's making it bad for other players. Sure enough, he was banned. On stream still, however, he got a
it feels like a fucking advertisement for Apex.
Name from somebody else playing the game, rejoined and hid the username so he could continue to cheat in peace. However, they were able to find him through various teammate names. Who is this mystery player in the group? Why, it's the cheater, of course. He got banned
Okay,
again.
next, boring.
In fact, he was cheating in a mod in the Apex. He eventually caught on to the fact that Reddit had been posting about it in the Apex Legends sub, and started blaming Reddit for the play and getting over it with Bennett Foddy, which is a kind of niche physics platformer that is frankly a ton of fun. Claimed to beat the game in 1 minute and 13 seconds. Now, the previous record was 1 minute and 19 seconds, and when this record is beaten, it's usually beaten in terms of microseconds, in just tiny iterations. And the reason for that is there really isn't any way to cheat it. It's a singularly contained experience, it's not competitive as you're playing it in any way. It requires motor skills, timing, a lot of thought, and a well-developed muscle memory based entirely in the game. As somebody plays getting over it, it may end up easily throwing them right back down the mountain with a tiny
What is
mistake,
the effect
a
right now?
small mistimed jump
This effect is pissing me
at
off.
the wrong time. And watching a speedrun of it is honestly genuinely amazing if you've ever played the game. I cannot speedrun it, it just doesn't happen. But given that there are no skipped frames or cuts or any modifications to the video that are at least apparent in any way to the 1 minute and 13 second speedrun he uploaded, it's been very hard to figure out how he cheated. Now, the original run isn't still up. He deleted it, but somebody backed it up. And although it looks like a normal sped run of the game, a lot of people theorize that he used some kind of program that slowed the game down, allowing him to play the game in slow motion and sped it up from there. People were really consistently skeptical that it was even possible to beat the game at that speed, and as of right now, it's turned out to be the truth. The runner, a person who uploads by the name of CCFST, admitted that he cheated and was banned from submitting speedruns for 6 months. Although during the course of the dispute, somebody actually set a new legitimate record at 1 minute and 17 seconds, which still shaves a couple seconds off the 1 minute 19, and maybe even to some extent learned from the faked speedrun, which is interesting to think about. Number 8, a user by the name of Miss Q Gemini, a CSGO player, got caught cheating and then also really lying badly about it. So she was playing CSGO as a CSGO player is wont to do. And you know how there's a kind of a cheat where you see skeletons of all of the other players through the walls so you know where everybody is at all times? You know, like one of the more common cheats that people talk about when they're like, I hate cheaters. So her live stream had that on it, and everybody in the chat was like, hey, you're cheating, and we see it. She tried to pull this move where she said Clara, her friend Clara, had been over. I'll quote her, Clara, let me message this girl. Why is this on my computer right now? Where is this? How do I close this?
Why don't you just play the video?
Is great. Honestly, it's really funny. It's really not believable, and the computer obviously is like, I don't really care why you're cheating, And she had to move all of her stuff to a new Steam profile because the other one got banned. Number 7, near the end of last year, at a Counter-Strike Global Offensive tournament, a player by the name of Kumawat got caught trying to close an aim assist program that was open on his computer in the middle of a match. There's only a few reasons you would have an aim assist program open in the middle of some kind of an esports match, and all of them are cheating. There's not one of them that isn't cheating. Like, the number one reason you would do that, for instance, is to have the computer assist you in aiming, which is particularly uncool in a tournament setting where the whole point is to find who plays the game the best. Kumawat actually got banned for 5 years.
so annoying with his editing.
And we're about halfway into the first year of that ban. And still we're going back to this video of him trying to stop the officials from looking at his computer. That's going to be one that's going to be hard to live down. And there's just basically no argument for doing that. You just look like you're trying to be a sneak in every version of this story. Maybe it's because you're trying to be a sneak.
Sucks.
That's what it was. Number 6, there's some pretty amazing, goofy stuff that people get banned on Xbox Live for, specifically for things that they include on their profiles, and then it's equally as funny when they try to get their account back. Like one user who obviously registered another account called Your Purdy Mouth, which they posted to the community saying, I have not received an email or anything, I was banned for no reason, the account was SteelerMan3686, and I demand that it be unbanned. One of the moderators responded by including a censored version of what their bio said, and it's just basically a lot of different curse words and racial slurs.
Fuck me, dude. That video made me stressed out. It's so
Thank you very
fucking
much
annoying.
for the donate. Thank you very much for the donation. Thank you, yay.
What
Hey
cam do I
Poke,
use?
it's my
I use-
birthday and I wanna spread the love and great and I love her shit yes is good and chat is great too yes much love have good stream yees.
Thank
I
you
love you,
very
dude.
much for the donate. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for the donation.
Wow.
Thank you, yay.
The guy talking is the type of guy to buy a fish burger at McDonald's.
Holy shit. Yeah, Surefour does that. Yo, Garlic Morgan, $4.20. Thank you, dude. And Omar Krebs, thank you. And maybe I'm Eric, 14 months.
Use this cam. What cam do I use? I use this cam. How can I show it? What cam do I use? I use this cam.
I got scared, actually. Thank you, Ism. 34 months, dude. 34 months, man.
I'm a big fan of legalization. Yeah, obviously. Boom, and we're live.
Pokelawls caught sitting down in a park being harassed. You know, I'm really surprised. Can you please not film me? Not film me, dude. Dude, what do you want?
You got your baited. You got your baited. You got your baited. Baited.
Oh my god. Did you know I was read the title and not fall for it? Fuck me, dude. Holy shit. Guys, please don't tell me about the porn. Oh my god.
You woke up and you were in a white room, and there was a thing in the white room with you, and you said, "Where am I?" And the thing said, yeah, you're a bit dead, but everything's fine. And you said, "I'm dead." My god, how did it happen?
Okay, hold on. I need to figure out who made that clip. Born Toxify. Shocking video has came out of streamer being harassed. Okay. Oh, okay, hold on. I'll play it one more time. Can you please not film me? Not film me, dude. Dude, what do you want?
You
piece of shit. That's so good. I love you.
Embarrassingly? Don't worry about it. You want some kombucha tea? What? No, it's fine. Everything's fine. You're safe here. What about my family? And my wife?
My head hurts from
She'll
that,
be
dude.
lonely.
Holy
What will she do?
fuck.
Yeah, let's just say Tom across the road took care of that. Tom Evans. Oh, that bastard. I'll kill him. I knew something was good. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
None of you motherfuckers don't care enough about a brother to even just see what's going on in a nigga life. Sometimes a nigga need a hug or something.